Fountain of Youth is out on Apple TV+, new adventure film from Guy Ritchie starring John Krasinski, Natalie Portman, Eiza Gonzalez, Domhnall Gleeson and Stanley Tucci. The film is a spiritual successor to Indiana Jones. We follow an art thief named Luke Perdue as he and his team travel across the globe searching for clues to find the mythical Fountain of Youth, which can restore health and well-being to everyone, including their rich billionaire sponsor who is dying of liver cancer. But there is also a shady organization that is trying to prevent the team from finding the fountain, and their main operative, Eiza Gonzalez, is relentlessly trying to stop the journey. So with movies like these, you need a couple of really simple elements to make it work. Likeable main characters who have good chemistry with each other. Intriguing setup for the story which will string you along. A couple of exciting, well-designed set pieces. And finally, humor and a sense of fun, a sense of adventure. And optionally, you can also have a fun villain, but I don't feel that is necessary. And with these elements, you're really just set to go. Sadly, this movie has none of these elements and fails miserably at trying to do every single one. So let's go in order. Likeable characters. Look, John Krasinski is visibly trying his best to be a cool leading man, but that's just it. He's trying. You can see he's trying so hard that he is no longer any convincing. And it's especially evident in any interaction he has with either Natalie Portman or Eiza Gonzalez. He has negative chemistry with both ladies, and part of it is on him, but I gotta be fair, each of them sadly looks a bit embarrassed to be in the movie. They don't do a very good job of carrying their characters. They both feel really flat and uninterested. However, they are not even the worst offenders, because there are two other members of the main team played by Laz Alonso and Carmen Ejogo. These two have absolutely nothing to do with the entire film. You can remove them and nothing changes. I have no idea what their purpose is. And sadly, the actors look like they realized the exact same thing and they just seem offended to be in their scenes. Zero effort, zero charisma, awful. Story-wise, on paper, this would maybe not be terrible, but the way it's executed is rather poor. The main character is not very capable and does not solve even one of the clues to the main riddle. He just kind of brute forces things every time. The villain twist was incredibly predictable. There are elements which straight up make no sense. The scene at the beginning where Luke steals a painting and somehow manages to escape the museum because there's not one security guy there. Nonsense. The scene where they leave Eiza Gonzalez on the sinking ship in the middle of the ocean with no way to escape, and yet somehow she shows up later completely fine. Nonsense. The big shootout with the Interpol and the ease with which things are smoothed over at the end. The fact that the protectors had a magic key to stop things at any time but chose not to reveal or use it until the very end. The fact that Eiza Gonzalez botches every confrontation she has with the others and is made to be a completely incompetent character. The final set piece, which is just weightless CGI nonsense. I mean, it's all very, very mediocre at best. In terms of set pieces, I think that the sinking boat had potential, but turns into a generic shootout. I did like the chase on the streets of Bangkok at the very start, but from then on it's kind of downhill. Nothing stands out as fun or impressive in any way. The dialogue is abysmally bad. The jokes are unfunny, no chemistry between the characters, clunky banter and poorly repeated exposition fill the film and make you want to fall asleep. And I've actually read sort of a scary theory online that a lot of movies like this one nowadays are made to be second screen movies, which is to say that people can watch it while they're scrolling on their phone and just, every 5 or 10 minutes they can look up and they can still follow the film because they haven't missed anything essential. This movie does feel like that because it repeats the very same exposition multiple times over the course of the film, which if you are a viewer who is focused on the film and paying attention, it just feels like the movie is disrespecting you. So I don't know if that's true. It does sound plausible, but if that's the direction Hollywood movies are going, I feel kind of scared for society. What else? There are a couple of lines which are unintentionally hilarious in how bad they are. My favorite being probably a mercenary spotting Interpol on the horizon and saying, and I quote, "There is a storm impending." Like, what the fuck? Nobody would say that. Two scenes I want to highlight for two very different reasons. One, there is a dialogue scene between Domhnall Gleeson and the kid at the restaurant, and that is, no joke, the best scene of the movie. They have good chemistry, the dialogue is fun for a change, love that. The second scene is the one taking place on the sinking ship, where suddenly the movie goes into slow motion for a couple of seconds during dialogue. And it is just one of the strangest things I've seen in a good couple of months. There is no reason for the slow-mo to be there, and it just looks really, really odd. Anyway, the short version of all of this is that this is a terrible, terrible film. None of the elements it needed to work do work, and the result is a boring, unexciting movie with a bored, unexcited cast. Avoid at all costs.